Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Comic Books NYC. Happy New Year. This is the first broadcast of 2020 on the channel, so hopefully we have another great year here on Comic Book YouTube. You are watching Gotham City Chronicles, episode 11, and joining me, as usual, is my co-host, JP.
Hey,
JP's Budget Collecting. What's up, bro?
Not much. Just hanging out. So, ready to talk about our second Harleen book in 11 tries, which is
second, two out of 11. I don't know what that percentage is off the top of my head.
You know, but it's also like the second version of her origin.
Yes. So, we did her other origin, and now we're doing her latest origin, I guess.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It makes sense. I also find it kind of ironic that, like, the day that the Joker movie gets 11 Oscar nominations, we're doing a Harley story.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. So, but definitely looking forward to it. This is a series I've enjoyed quite a bit. But let's do it. We're going to do a deep dive, and to help us is two heavy hitter channels here. First up, we got our first time. Yeah, we got a new entry to Gotham City Chronicles, and we got a returning visitor as well. But joining us for the first time on this show is Big Will. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I have arrived.
You have arrived.
And I don't know about a heavy hitter channel, but I am the heavyweight channel.
Why did I know you would go there with like the joke? But that makes sense. Well, dude, thanks for hopping on this show with us. We've been trying to get you on. We've talked about other stories, I think, even that we wanted to read at the same time as you to try to get you on, but this one worked out. So thanks for joining us, and hopefully we can have a good talk about this book. So the other guest we have tonight is our returning champion via PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint champion.
The PowerPoint that will live in infamy on this show, and that's our good friend Adam, Bear Island Comics. What? Where'd he go?
I thought he was going to be...
Where the hell is he?
I'm here. What's up? We can start. I just finished...
Is it a quick bathroom break? Or
I just finished rewatching all the episodes. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Episodes.
Harley Quinn.
What?
The Harley Quinn show. The one everyone's talking about.
No. This is a comic book show. Harleen.
Not the...
Do you recognize it?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we can do that too. That's fine. I mean, that was pretty good too. I enjoyed that. So we can.
Just double checking.
I mean, communication's kind of important, guys. I would have appreciated maybe. Maybe a clarification on that, or I don't know.
I thought I sent a thumbnail around with this cover on it. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, you're probably wrong.
Probably wrong.
You're probably wrong.
Yeah.
It's good of you to acknowledge.
So the show is usually wrong. Everything.
So. Well, I was gonna say no.
So we're not talking about like King Shark at all?
No, but if you would like to schedule a separate chat for that purpose.
We did that on Saturday.
Yeah.
We were on the Will's channel, remember?
I missed that one, but I'll get in on round 2 of that.
The King Shark,
end of season.
We do have Killer Croc.
We do have Killer Croc, yes.
That is true.
That's true.
So before we get started, I'm going to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat. We got Unruly Simeon in here, tailgating a little bit earlier. Z Collects, John's Comics with Kids. I am kind of cold. Let's see. Comic Man Andy is in the house. Who else is in here? Tom's Comic Books and Reviews. Good to see you. Mad Mike's Comics is in the house. Sharon's here. What's up, Sharon? Thank you for stopping by.
Sharon only sent me like 8 memes today, so I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, Bear is in full Wednesday show.
Yeah, I've only gotten 4.
I don't think he realizes when that show ends and the next show starts anymore. It's just one show.
Where's Alec?
Yeah, where is Alec? I don't know. Yes, there she is. All right, guys. So this is the 11th story that we've covered on Gotham City Chronicles. We've already covered Mad Love, and that was we did that with Delphia Kachug, and that was interesting discussion. And I think that at the time Harleen had not come out, and we had sort of talked a little bit about what it might be like towards the end of that broadcast. So I was definitely looking forward. This is a story that I was looking forward to reading. But my initial gut reaction is I was just so blown away by the artwork. What are your guys' initial, like, just quick hit thought about this book?
This should be her standard origin.
I agree.
Wow,
I would agree with that.
I love it. No, I could talk for an hour about the art alone. Like
the art, we're going to spend some time on the art because that's probably
definitely like, there's some panels in here that are just absolutely gorgeous and way better than. Well, it's Black Label. It's supposed to be like stepped up a little bit, but way better than you get in your average comic books. That's for darn sure anymore. So,
I mean the prestige format really fits this art style. Like, and before I'm gonna make an attempt at this, but I'm probably gonna butcher it. His name is Stjepan Šejic, right? Or Is that how you say it? Or is it Stefan?
I have it as
Stefan?
Saint Japan.
If it's Stefan, but there's a J before the E, so it's like STJ. Stjepan. Stjepan.
You want to know something funny? I used to listen to this podcast of people who are really big fans of his, and they pronounced his name Šejic.
Šejic. Wow.
Šejic. Okay. I'm like, who the heck are they talking about? And then I realized
it really helps to know his country of origin. That helps pronunciation.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
not sure where he's from.
Croatian, isn't he?
Is it? I know it's Middle. Yeah, I think it's like Eastern Europe, but I'm not sure which one. So.
Croatian.
Yo, Burke family's in the house. What's up, man?
Hey,
and George is in the house. What's up? He says he might have to read this then. So
he's from Vinkovci, Croatia. Vinkovci.
Wow. Okay.
You know what? Going forward, we should just call him ST. That was my grandmother's name.
Sure.
That's certainly easier.
SF doesn't sound so good.
What's up, Big? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping in. So I don't know. I'll let you. Let's free for all time on the art because that's usually where we do start. I mean, for me, that panel, I posted it to Instagram. Like when I got to that panel in issue 3 of Poison Ivy, full splash page, I was so blown away by that one particular panel of Poison Ivy. And I know it's a Harley book, but that Poison Ivy full page splash, like, is probably my panel, like my single page of the year as far as artwork. Hold on, I'm gonna go full screen on because, or I'll go full screen on Bill. Oh wait, he put the book down. There we go.
Oh, wow.
I love that. I just absolutely love that page.
That panel is just
yeah. And I was gonna say one thing I really enjoyed that he did in all 3 books is at some point there's a double page splash and there's a character on each end and a story going on in between. Well, this is the first issue.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Harley, that's great.
And then that story going on. And then he kind of toned it down a little bit for issue 2. Here's issue 2's double splash with Batman and Robin coming to the rescue with the executioners at the bottom. And then his best one was the one in issue 3 where Harleen becomes Harley and shoots this guy in the head. And each shard tells a story.
Yeah, honestly, like I every few pages, there's something that comes up that just makes me makes my jaw drop a little bit. So I'm a huge fan.
Poison Ivy junkies. Yes, Sharon.
Yes.
Very much so.
But even before that, I was sold. And then we got to the Poison Ivy page, and I'm like, it's an instant classic now.
Yeah.
It really takes advantage of the prestige format for the one-page spreads.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's multiple ones in each issue.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
This one of them getting it on.
Yeah, that 3rd issue got pretty steamy, I would say.
Not to mention this one with the
with
the sort of claws reaching up after them.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, she's trying to pull him up. Yeah. And then there's
the Joker's a little sexier than I normally like.
Yeah, he's a.
I think
I stand by
the last image of the whole book.
The last image of the whole book with her.
Really well done.
Right, her full transition.
I will say we had this discussion when we did the first issue. When I had it when I was on with John and White Whale, where we
new comic book day,
the art, and that Joker was a pretty boy in this, and I stand by having read the whole thing because it's from her perspective. I think that was a conscientious choice on his part to make him prettier than he is, because it's how she sees him. It's not how he necessarily is. Like, what she sees is not what the rest of us see. And this is all told from her mind.
I would agree with you, especially because whenever it shows the Joker as being against Batman in her dream, or every now and then there's a bit of reality, it shows him disfigured and monsterized. But then when she's talking about him, he's a pretty boy.
Yeah. So to me, I thought that was definitely a conscientious choice. I could be wrong, but like, just the way it reads to me is that he made a choice of, this is from her perspective. We're going to see the Joker how she sees him, and and every so often, like Will says, through other images and stuff, you get to see the monster. But like, for the most part, it's her clouded view.
And I'm sure most of us can relate to that. That's true of infatuation in general. You know, like, you see the person that you're interested in, maybe you give them a few bonus points.
Yeah.
The other thing that blew me away about his art was his ability to portray emotion, sometimes without words. Like, one of my favorite sequences is this right here, where she's sort of waking up and she's realizing how turned on she is by him, and the thing with the pillow.
Yeah,
we've all done that, and there's no actual real words there,
right?
But he somehow gets it. He gets it across, because this is how humans, react when they're alone, when there's no one watching. Like, you scream into your pillow, and then her eyes when she says, "What's wrong with me?" There, she's sort of wide-eyed, and like, she can't quite believe what's going on.
Very emotive,
and she looks a little bit angry with herself.
Yeah.
I like the use of background color also there, or lack thereof, in the case of that particular page. You know what I mean? Like, he could have chosen to like draw her on a bed, and you see a bedroom, and you see a bunch of stuff, but you just see black, right? And her juxtaposed on top of that, right? And I feel like there's several pages throughout the 3 issues where he kind of uses that very intelligently.
And there's a
background color
where Bear talks about, like, in the second issue, like, you can see her get the right thing. Like, she's like talking about, that he thought she was too beautiful to die or whatever. And she's like horrified with herself and her reaction in the mirror. And then you see her, like, just like, he does a good job of, like, how anybody, we've all done that, where you have a thought and you're like, what am I, like, you horrify your own self with the things you're thinking about. And it's just like, I don't know. I just think he does a really, really good job.
And if you look at Poison Ivy, you can see she's asking her about, this panel, you blush kind of whenever you smile and whatnot. And then,
man, I really hope he does a Poison Ivy book next.
Like, do I turn you on? And that one, she's sort of angry that she didn't call her Ivy, and you can see it with the eyebrows, and he's so good at it.
He's hinted that he wants to do a Poison Ivy book.
Has he? Like, was it a public interview or anything, or like?
No, I think he posted a couple of images on. It might have been Twitter, and I think it was just called Isley, because that's her last name.
I saw those. I didn't know where they came from. If he posted those, or if those were just fans going, "We want this."
Right.
Well, it sure looked like his art to me.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely looked like his art. So,
I mean, my understanding is he's a digital artist, right? Like, based on these interiors. Like, these are not traditionally penciled, inked, and then colored drawings. They are fully 100% his creations in a digital medium for the print medium. Yeah.
He does YouTube videos showing his process too. So a lot of people who are learning digital go and watch his stuff.
That's cool.
Does he have
a YouTube channel? I know I follow him on Instagram, but he posts so infrequently. Like, he's got like 7 total posts or something.
Yeah, I believe he does have.
I'm going to look that up. What about the covers? I mean, I couldn't, I think it's pretty cool that, and I'll go full screen on myself for a second, that he did both the A cover, this is issue number 1, that's the A cover, but he also did the B cover for issue number 1. Then he also did the issue A cover of issue number 2 and the B cover of issue number 2. And then the A cover and B cover issue number 3. I only picked up the A cover for issue number 3, though. If somebody has a B cover for issue 3.
The B cover.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, Big Will's got it too.
There you go. Oh, Big Will. I'll switch. This is the most camera switching I've ever had to do on a single episode of anything. You guys are keeping me on my toes.
Now, I have to say, though, I like both A and B covers, but I had no option. I had to get the B covers. I personally prefer the A covers just a little bit more. But
I do also.
All 3 of the A covers, I think, are slightly better than the B covers, but I do like the B covers. So, like in each case, I prefer the A to the B, but I mean, that's still a really nice cover.
That one confused me because I couldn't tell which way it was. Like, I was like, is this the right way?
She's doing a handstand.
Because it could look like a split,
Yeah.
So you kept trying to open the book on the wrong side?
It's a reversible cover.
Look at the letters?
No, I know, guys. All right, you guys.
Why is this spine all damaged?
What's up, Chaos and Comics in the house? He's asking, is there dick jokes? Extreme, but I would say there's violence. I don't remember recall dick jokes necessarily, but
if this is Harley if she were a real person and her journey to becoming, from Harleen to Harley.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So is this that fan image thing?
Yeah, if you want to share that, we can. This is on his actual Twitter account that he posted this.
So he posted it. He didn't share it, retweet or
along with.
I would buy that book.
This one gets me super excited. Yeah, I mean, this guy is amazing.
Yeah,
that one looks kind of cabbagey. I don't care for that.
Does this guy do like Comic Cons and stuff, or is he not really on that scene? Like I don't remember seeing him on any.
I've never seen him listed, but
I don't know if we've said it definitely or not, but we're talking about his art. But he also wrote the entire thing too.
Yes.
Yeah. Great point.
Yes.
Before we get into art, do we want to go on it? We always usually do our covers. Do we want to do that now since we've talked about the covers?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I pretty much have a favorite, but I don't know if you guys.
Everybody,
I think I know which one. I think I know which one your JP's is because I watched his Let's Collect.
Yeah, it was on the list.
Harley Quinn.
A3.
Yes, that was his favorite. A3.
Yes, this is my favorite of the covers.
I will go there. I mean, my favorite's a little bit more of the sappy variety, but also like romantic, I guess you could say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look at that Mylar.
This is the A cover. Yes, it is magazine Mylar. A cover for issue number 2.
Comic Books NYC, everybody. Magazine Mylar.
Magazine Mylar.
Magazine Mylar.
I've literally never seen that before.
It will cut you even harder than regular Mylar.
Twice as loud.
Yeah.
I think that cover you just showed is the only one that was taken
from an interior splash page.
From the interior.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm gonna go with just the. I think this is 1A. Is it 1A?
That is the first issue.
Yeah, I really like the way she's sort of like she's got her hand like this. She's just sort of like thinking about it. Like
fun fact about that cover.
Holding the mask up. Yeah.
What's up, Javi? Thanks for stopping by. So fun fact about that cover, they're going to put out a hardcover version of, so people can read the whole story, issues 1 through 3, and they're going to use an acetate dust jacket to superimpose another Harley image on top of the A cover so that when you take the acetate off, you still see the A cover. When you put the acetate back on, you get this new image.
Actually, the acetate is going to be the A cover.
The acetate's the A cover, and the other thing.
The acetate's the A cover. Here, I got it. Let me get it where I can.
All right.
Like big, and I'll share it with you.
Going to be taking that mask piece off.
If I can get the dang thing to load here. Sorry.
Yeah, I will say
Okay,
one
so let me
A
share.
is my second favorite cover.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to choose a favorite, honestly. Like, I think these are all pretty amazing.
This is I'm sure that is the image of what the inside and the acetate will be on the hardcover. I'm sharing with
I'm
you
not.
now.
It's yeah. Not. Oh, are you sharing it? Okay, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Oh, it should be there.
When I click, when I
There it
click
is.
your.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
You had it for a second.
There it is. Yeah, that's the.
So the acetate is the original.
I see.
Actually, it's a slightly.
So she's got the glasses.
It's the original A is the acetate. When you flip it open, like you take that off, it's going to be the image underneath there, the bloody image of her.
Yeah.
And
Again, that's in book 3 in the back.
Yeah, the very back of book 3.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I love the fact that there's no blood where her glasses were.
I only saw that once, and then I put it in my magazine Mylar, and it.
Yeah, that's in the.
And then you went and got some Band-Aids.
That's in the back. Of
pretty much. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I don't know. I mean, this is one of those books where I might get the hardcover. I don't.
Yeah, I'm tempted to get.
I'm tempted
for that cover.
Just for that cover, yeah. I mean, because it's not it's these prestige format DC Black Label books, like they don't damage easily, so I'm not afraid to read them. You know what I mean? So it's not really for like the reading purposes. I would get that hardcover. I would get it for the cover, literally, which is a first. I don't think I've ever gotten a collected edition, trade paperback, or omnibus or anything specifically for a cover before.
Well, I would if I could afford it for maybe Kingdom Come or Watchmen, but
that's a good one. Kingdom Come.
Yeah,
I have it for Watchmen. It's not a variant necessarily, I guess, though. Is it? I don't know. I don't think so. But I have 2 different Watchmen hardcovers. I need to sell one of them, or I don't know, donate one of them, or give one away. But yeah. Should we move on to story? I mean, that's the part that's. I mean, Big Will finished this like fucking 2 minutes ago before we got on the air, so it's pretty fresh.
I will say I didn't get back through all of it a second time, which is
I didn't read it a second time.
I didn't read any of it.
You didn't read any of it. You just looked at the pictures.
No, I didn't reread any of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't read.
I've been through once, so
yeah.
I literally finished 10 minutes before we started.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it delivered for me on the storyline. It felt like a more mature sort of, I don't not justifiable, but I don't know, just a more appropriate, not even appropriate, just, I don't know. There's a word that, I don't know, it just felt right to me. It just felt like an organic origin story for Harley Quinn. Whereas, with Mad Love, I always enjoyed the book and everything. And I thought it was a cool, book. Most of, a lot of that had to do with I like Bruce Timm's artwork style, and not everybody does. So, that's where I go there with this. But for this, we spent 25 minutes talking about the art, but the story was almost on par for it. It was. I thought it was great.
And I would say the issues got progressively better. I think the first issue is probably the worst for me.
I agree.
I will say the pacing is a little slow overall. Just from a storytelling point, I feel like it's a little slower than it needs to be, but it does pick up particularly in the 3rd issue. I feel like it really picks up.
Yeah.
Live action in 3rd issue. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was overall it was we talked about during Mad Love. It's I always wanted more. Because you didn't really. She fell for this guy, but you didn't really understand why. The whole time, she was obsessed and she'd fallen for him, but there was no why. And this, I feel does a good job of. Maybe you don't understand. Yeah,
because in Mad Love, you never really spent time with her and under her own thoughts.
Yeah.
And that was key here.
So there was definitely room to expand on the story
for all of you guys.
What's that?
Did you read it? All of her parts normally until this right here, then switch to that accent that she's so famous for,
Mr. J. Yeah,
the Mr. J. Yeah.
I can't get it to show, but it says very well, Mr. J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hearing Southern Big Will do a New York accent. That's awesome.
But he was. I mean, I thought those kind of moments that kind of tease full-fledged Harley Quinn were really well done. You know what I mean? Because they weren't. He didn't. It wasn't done. It wasn't done like so over the top where it's like, okay, we get it. You know what I mean? But like he was very sparingly on the way to her becoming Harley Quinn, like alluding to some of the stuff that she's known for. But I thought it was well done.
He said to her, Joker said to Harleen, and everything that happened around her in her life here in these books, it makes sense that what happened to her happens to her.
Right.
Yeah.
With her mental degradation, I guess you could say.
Yeah. How she falls into the trap. I mean, a trap that he lays for her, but she kind of lays for herself in a lot of ways. Like she talks about her good decisions, her bad decisions, and things that she could have gotten. There were multiple times where she could have went left and got out of it.
Yeah,
and she went right, and she talks about those decisions from her own perspective all the way through, and I just think it's very well done because you understand why she went left, even though knowing where that's going, you would be like, go right, or why she goes right, but you're like, go left. It's not like a horror movie when it's like, why are you going upstairs? It's understandable why she makes the choices she makes, even though you know what how bad the outcome's going to be.
Yeah.
And unlike some of the other depictions, such as the cartoon where you see her as a kid and she's a little messed up, we don't get to see that here, but it does show her a little bit of her past as being she's not exactly 100% to start with. So it makes sense that she can go down this path, and at the end she's still just trying to save him, but the laughing gas makes it a little fuzzy.
There's some formative events too that I don't think should be overlooked, like the thing where she got down with the professor in college or whatever, and people thought she was that's how she got her grades and things like that. And I think at some point she sort of, while she's making, I don't think that pushed her into Joker, but I think when she was already sort of getting caught up in it, that was in the back of her mind going, nobody's ever going to give me a break for this college professor thing. So F it. Just one more little thing pushing her towards it.
Right. And it also leads to where she's at the start of the story, which is she's very isolated and alone as a person. Like, because of this past and the way people treat her, she has she talks about, she has one friend and nobody, her family's 6 states away. And she's very much a lonely person, like before any of this starts. He gives her a bit of a lifeline for attachment, and she, and there's a panel in there, like when she's in the second issue, I think, where he turns the tables on her when he starts asking her questions during one of the interviews. And I think it's in the second one and not the third one. And
gotta let the dog out. I'll be right back.
Well, yeah, it comes up. The whole sequence starts with with her falling for she realizes that she falls for the bait. And she's talking about later, she's falling for the bait that yes, I'll come closer, but it ends even in her own mind, she realizes that he's effectively turned the table on her.
Right.
Looking back on it. She's the one getting analyzed.
Right. She's in the straitjacket.
She's in the straitjacket. And he uses these images, but it's just really well done of how she ends up there. Because, and it's explained later that he's basically been the answer he gives her is the answer she's been looking for, before, that sets it all up, and she totally falls for it. Well, you've come to find out in the 3rd issue, and Batman finds out that he stole all her research. He had people bring it to him, so he knew what answer he was looking for. And he just fed it to her. And, you catch all these moments through as she's trying to analyze him, and she thinks she's the one that's finally getting through to him. She's getting real answers where all these psychiatrists before. Yeah. You realize because he knows what she's doing, he's got all her research at the end. that no, he never gives her a real answer, even though she thinks she got him.
But you guys
was in there already cracked, and the Joker just finishes breaking her.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Harvey Dent?
I was about to say the other things in this story, especially
there are some cool other things
with how they did the origin of Harvey Dent and what they did with Poison Ivy. I liked both of those very well.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I liked how they made Two-Face an instigator, kind of the, the climactic events.
Yeah.
And she also, if I recall, she sort of stands up to him a couple times, doesn't she? Like early on in the story.
Totally.
He prompts her to go visit. She's been putting off the whole first book. She puts off visiting the Joker until she has her confrontation with Harvey.
Yeah, like he was kind of a big motivator a little bit throughout this.
Yeah.
John asked the question. He put in the chat, because he didn't read it after the first one.
Yeah, there you go.
I would say, John, easily the first issue is the worst of the three, in my opinion. It's the worst for the wordiness in the conversations that you guys really complained about. Like, that's way worse in the first issue than it is in the second one's. Like, overwriting conversations a little bit, which he does do in that first one, I think.
I agree. 2 gets better, and 3's better.
Each issue gets better. 3 is the best. 2 is better than 1 by quite a bit, and then 1 is. I enjoyed 1, but 2 and 3 were way better for me than issue 1 was.
I want to know which animated series he's talking about. Something tells me he's not talking about the new one.
No, he's talking about Batman the animated series.
Yeah, Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
The new one is amazing.
Not for kids.
How much Harley Quinn did everyone in this panel have? I love the Amanda Connor series. I enjoyed her from the original cartoon and the new cartoon, and I enjoyed the Harleen. So I like Harley Quinn as a character.
I found her annoying. I thought she was oversaturated and being forced down our throats, and I never really took the time to look into her backstory or anything like that. I just thought, oh, they're trying to force this character on us because of movies and things like that. And but now I'm more interested. I want to go back and read more of her stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat where I haven't read every single run or whatever, but I've read a few storylines, and it's for me, it's middle of the pack character historically. This is by far my favorite Harley related thing that I've ever read, both art and story wise. What's up, Sinsaro? Welcome to the show, and Area 51's in the house. Thanks for stopping by. J Hood Creatives in the house. Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight.
The animated series was where I really enjoyed the character. I really enjoyed the character from that. Obviously, I named my cat Harley for this character, but that was 15 years ago. Most anytime in between now and then, I probably would not have. She kind of just fell off. I felt like they oversaturated her in a lot of the stuff that I read, and I didn't read all of the Connor stuff. I didn't read all of it. I felt like she sort of became Bugs Bunny in a way, as I talked about with John. It's because all this crazy crap would happen, but none of it mattered. None of it actually advanced her character. None of it had any effect on anything else.
Most of the series of Harley Quinn, like the Amanda Connor, are a lot like the current cartoon, except they weren't able to go mature.
Right.
So you're left with that level, that ceiling that you can't. So I understand what you're saying. I mean, I'm kind of a little crazy dude, so I enjoyed it myself, but I get where you're coming from.
I will fully admit I haven't read all the Amanda Connor stuff. I've read a little bit, just a little bit, and she's kind of like it was always a book that was on my list to collect and that kind of thing. But she was a character. She had slowly kind of just dropped down my list, and I wasn't as interested. Between this book and the new TV series, I'm really interested in the character again. So that's just kind of where I'm at.
I might be one of the few people who enjoyed her character in the Suicide Squad movie. I thought she was funny, and I thought she was very self-aware.
I thought she was okay.
Yeah, I thought she was the best part of that movie.
Almost everyone says that her and Will Smith's character, Deadshot, were great. It's just the other stuff that was bad.
Yeah, the movie just made no sense. I enjoyed their portrayals, but the movie made no sense.
Although I'm worried about Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the same thing again.
Yeah.
Except it's going to be rated R, I guess. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
No, maybe that'll help. I don't know.
I think it could help. It could help, but
10 years ago, I don't think you could have printed this book. But thanks to us getting a little looser on some things and the fact that we now have the black label and this prestige format that really lets them shine, this is awesome.
yeah, definitely 10 years ago,
only now
would not publish something like that.
No.
And
And Chaos made a comment above. He's like, ranking the issues is fine, but the first issue was bad to mediocre. Does that mean the other two issues are worth the $18?
Yeah,
or
I
whatever?
saw that. I mean, I liked the first issue. I wouldn't call it mediocre.
It's just not nearly as good as the second and third one. It was still good for me. Now, John and White Whale did not when we did the review on their channel. They did not like it. But I liked the first issue from the beginning. So for me, it was definitely worth it. So
yeah, I agree. I don't
really.
I'll admit it's the worst of the three, but I'd still put it up there with, some good books too. I mean, I enjoyed number one.
Did we talk about the?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
You missed it, Jay Hood. We totally did.
We broke down the
first 5 minutes. We had some more people join us here. 36 Chambers Tattoo Studio, Boatwright. Thanks for joining, guys. And probably somebody else I forgot or missed. Who else did I miss? Baz Clark. There you go. Thanks for joining us. So, did we ever talk about why one of the is it ever explained why one of these issues was delayed? Like, do you think that they changed something possibly? I don't know. I'm just speculating a little bit on that, but
it wasn't to fix spelling errors because there was a whole bunch of those in issue number 2.
Right.
There was like
was that the delayed one, or was I think issue 3 was the delayed one, I think.
But they only pushed it back 1 or 2 weeks, so I find that hard to believe that they really did any.
I guess it's not. I mean, I guess you're right. I guess it must have still already been printed by that point.
Yeah, I would think so.
I have no idea. Like, I waited to read all these at once, so it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
Hey, there was one thing that we didn't talk about, though. What do you guys think of all his designs for the different characters? Like his Batman, his Joker, I guess, even though it was the Pretty Boy, and then the Killer Croc, the Two-Face, the Poison Ivy.
I really enjoyed most of them. I will say, like I said, the Joker thing I think was a conscientious choice.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about the Ivy design, but like Killer Croc is a solid design. I think. I will say, I think the Batman design is just sort of
standard.
Normal.
I was just about to say that's my least favorite of the character designs. Is the Batman.
I think he played it safe with Batman.
He didn't really do anything with Batman.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything with Batman. It's just Batman. It's not like, for lack of a better way to put it, it's literally just Batman. It's just like a standard. There's nothing unique or interesting in his particular design.
Yeah.
I mean, Croc is, you don't see a lot of Croc, but like, I think he's pretty well done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
that's cool.
There's one panel or page where she goes through interviewing a whole bunch of them at once.
Oh, that's in the first book, I think.
Sure, it's the first one?
First, it might be the second.
I'm looking at the second one. You look in the first one.
I love you. You guys are all flipping, and I love you for it because you're letting me keep my books in the Mylar. So
we'll find it for you, Calvin.
Well, I have the cover.
We don't want you bleeding out.
You're right. I think it is.
Right?
Mylar, so
I would be risking bleeding out all over my computer if I mess with those.
I mean, there is one that goes around like one of these panels. Like you get Zaz and you get Ivy.
Oh yeah.
And then you get
right, where she's that whole period where she's struggling with sleep and like drinking 20,000 cups of coffee a day and everything.
It's like Heroes in Crisis, but good.
And the Riddler's in there.
I almost brought that up.
But that's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the other one. It must be in the third book.
I know. I felt like more connected with the character on a human level, just on that insomnia and coffee thing. So, because that's something I deal with. So, I never connected to the character before that.
Yeah. Oh, the coffee addiction.
The coffee and the insomnia and stuff. Like, I deal with that in my own life. So it's like I finally like had something I could relate to Harley Quinn directly about, which had never happened before.
This is the one you're talking about, Big Will. This is in book 2.
Yeah, I completely overlooked it. There's this Penguin.
There it is. Yeah.
Just look at Mr. Freeze, all the other characters. I have to say, except for his Batman, I like all of his characters.
Is that a 12-panel layout or an 8-panel with a
8 with a
big
banner.
panel at the top? Yeah. Okay.
8 with a banner.
8 with a banner. Yeah.
Will, what was it about his Batman that you didn't care for?
It was safe, generic. He didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, that would be my
Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I think the current Batman's pretty boring in general. Like, just the way I think they need to do something.
I mean,
here you go, splash page with the Batman on it.
Well, yeah, and then he shows up. Thing, and it's just,
I mean, it's the page is still like plenty dramatic and everything, but like,
I mean, I like the glowing eyes, but that's about it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just it's not that it's bad.
Eyes in front of the signal, like that's a cool shot.
It's very cool.
But as far as his actual design, when you can see him, he's not in shadow. It's just generic Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I mean, something that every other artist has done. The black underwear, boots, cape, and cowl, and then gray.
Well, you could almost even say, like, did he even really need to appear? You know what I mean? Like, he established that he was there to establish like the initial meeting between Harley and Quinzel and Joker, and he was there also towards the end of the book. You know what I mean? To
solve one of
connect
the
the dots.
mysteries. Yeah.
Exactly right. But you didn't necessarily need to actually appear on panel to write that across. But he did choose to go that route. It's not like there's literally like 2 to 3 appearances of Batman total, right? The 3 issues. So.
I mean, he appears in all 3 books, but it's briefly in each case.
Yeah.
And
it's really very.
He has one Thunderfly in this one, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean,
I like his Alfred. His Alfred's cool.
Dave made a comment about like some of it looks a bit unfinished, and that
he's talking about the Morbius trailer because that's what they're talking about in chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but that's funny because when you guys were reviewing this on New Comic Book Day when it first came out, that's a comment Alec made that some of the art looked unfinished.
And I never understood
really?
that.
I think it looked pretty damn finished to me.
The funny thing is, at first I kind of agreed with him. I was like, well, yeah, that usually looks like something that you would add more detail to. But as I read the book, I was like, no, this does not need to be finished. This is supposed to be shaky and a little bit messy. And if everything was too perfect, it wouldn't fit what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm making an excuse for him, but I thought the art was fantastic.
I think you'll like it, Unruly. Like like
it reminds me of Reboot. Y'all remember that cartoon?
Maybe.
Reboot?
Yeah.
Bub's in the house. What's up, Bub? Good to see you.
This looks like art from Reboot, kind of.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I like it.
What's in that?
It's good.
It's in the folder. Batman.
I'm trying to understand the reference. I'm sure it's a joke because it's Bub's, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I missed it.
What's in that folder?
That's a penis joke.
Oh, I guess maybe because for anyone who's questioning, there is no nudity in this book.
That is correct. Yes.
People that were like, when we did our review of the first one,
there's implied nudity where you see like just somebody from the back up.
Yeah.
In the back.
I mean, it's implied what they're doing. I mean, they show them having sex, but they don't show them having sex. It's
right.
So.
To me, the raciest thing was
murdering his back with her nails. That's what they show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big Will, not a fan of that. I thought the raciest thing was in issue 3 where can I say it out loud? We're good.
Yeah, I know which one you're gonna say, but yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, she says he got under my skin. She's just waking up. She says I already showed this page.
Yep.
I didn't just snap out of that dream feeling sweaty. She says she woke up, let's just say with physical evidence that she was turned on. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was about the only thing that made me go, whoa. I haven't seen that in a comic book before.
Yeah.
I had to reread it.
Not in a big 2 comic book anyway. Right?
I was like, does she mean that or that?
Well, my dad had those underground comics when I was a kid.
You know, if you've read Saga, you've seen some weird shit, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
But what were you saying, Will?
I was just agreeing that I had to do a double take on that one too. I was like, does she mean wet or wet?
Right.
I reread it 3 times to make sure I was interpreting it correctly. She's like, she's making a definite difference between sweat and something else.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So there you go, Mr. Šejic, you did it.
Mr. Šejic.
You got it.
All right. So where do we? How do we feel overall about this? Where does this sit on the
B plus?
The vast. Yeah, we can do a grade scale. You know,
I would say a B plus or a 9.4.
All right.
Okay.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
I'll go like an A minus maybe. There was at no point reading this book that I want to put it down. The only time I stopped reading it was it was just too late at night and I fell asleep. Yeah. Because I'm getting old, but you know.
I would agree. Like, I found it compelling throughout. It was one of those weird things that, like, because he tells the story in 2 ways, but yeah, it would. So, because we usually rank it based on the rest of our list, and I don't know.
I feel like our list is going to start getting too big to do that.
So,
you know.
I mean, like, in terms of, it's well ahead of like Mad Love on my list. Like, this is way better to me than Mad Love is. It's not even
Mad Love was dead number 10 among everything we've done previously. For me, I know Killing Joke's at the bottom. Killing Jokes was a few spots up above bottom for me, but this is above Killing Joke for me. So this is probably like out of the 11 we've done. It's probably number 6 or 5. 6.
I would say 6.
Yeah, 6 is probably fair. 6. Yeah, 6 stretching maybe 7. But,
I mean, it's ahead of some good stories, but it's not top 5 material. There's enough flaws that it's not top 5, but it'd be like 6-ish probably on our list of 11. You know, it's not as good as it's not year 1, and it's not as good as like the second tier of what we've done, in my opinion, of like White Knight and
I mean,
Court of Owls and Hush. It's probably like just behind Hush, probably on my list.
Okay.
Out of all Harley Quinn things, where's it rank?
Out of all Harley Quinn things, it's number 1 on my list.
Yeah, it's the best Harley Quinn thing, reading wise, that I have read.
Yeah.
And I also like these bits on the back.
Yeah.
There's lots of little extras like that. Like, you know, at the beginning.
The design of the whole book is
it's really nice.
Very good. Like book 1 is the road to hell is paved with good intentions. On that road, I saw a pale man, and he smiled at me.
Like that panel there, like that in the end of the 3rd book.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to get this hardcover.
Yeah.
And then the back of book 2 is Heaven Help Me, a small part of me wants to let him in.
Oh, that's a good one.
Book 2, they give you kind of a preview of that book 3 cover there at the end.
I missed it.
Sorry.
I'm not quick enough with the trigger finger on this.
I mean, the other 2 give you kind of a preview of what's like to come.
Yeah.
And then book 3 is There was a broken man in the abyss. I reached down to help him. I realized too late he wasn't slipping. He was dragging me.
Yeah.
Those are good.
I don't know how I can go like try out like the main Harley Quinn title after reading that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. To me, it doesn't translate to me as well as that. That felt very organic to me, as organic as it can be within the scope of a completely made up superhero universe. You know,
well, I would say this is classic DC, and her series ongoing is more like the animated series, current animated series on DC Universe.
Yeah, it's such a funny show. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I maybe don't like the Connor and Palmiotti stuff, is because they are limited. They can't just go on and tell the story that they're telling with this animated show. Like that they haven't allowed them to make it adult as it needs to be to make it work for me. like, and that's why it comes off as silly and not serious in any way, shape, or form. Like the anime show is very silly, but it is, there's a serious undertone to what's happening, and through like the language and everything else they do, it comes together for me. Whereas I feel like the writing on the comics, like the few things I've read by Amanda Conner and stuff, they're funny, but it's just like, but none of this is mattering.
Yeah.
Inconsequential. It's Deadpool.
I was just about to say it's too similar to Deadpool. For me.
Yeah, it's inconsequential, and like that. Whereas like the show, because they're able to go that extra step, I feel like they're able to make it actually consequential and still goofy and out there.
I like Connor and Palmiotti's Harley Quinn, but I prefer their Power Girl better. I think they can do that better than the Harley Quinn stuff for the reasons we just mentioned.
Yeah, I've read the Power Girl stuff, and it's actually really good, like that they did. So
I was wondering if that would come into play in this book at any point.
I mean,
it did.
It did sort of.
It did.
It did come into play, like that scene episode earlier where Harley is thinking about Joker, but Ivy doesn't know that, and she's just reading the signs, and then Harley leaves flustered, and then at the end, like I showed the panel with, and we didn't actually show that, but I showed the panel where she like Killer Croc finds her in Arkham during the chaos, and Ivy saves her, like, and gives her an out that she doesn't take.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is that maybe going there, Pat stuff.
What's up, Crazy Guy Song 2? Crazy Guy comic song. Every time it gets me.
Yeah. So this is the like Ivy actually later saves her from Killer Croc. Did you see Ivy like?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she calls off Croc.
She like throws Killer Croc out of the asylum, and she gives her like, "You're only saved if you leave this place." And Harley doesn't leave it. She goes after the Joker, and like so. But you see kind of the start of that a little bit in this.
How badass are you if you can tell Killer Croc what to do?
Like, I would love to see a follow-up. I'd love to see like just an Isley story, but I would love to see if he did a Harleen follow-up.
A whole Harleen follow-up is even higher on my list.
Like
possibly
of the first episode of the show, which is where she realizes that the Joker, she breaks away from him, like of the TV show. I would love to see him tell that story.
Right, the next level of Harley, independent Harley, but
a realistic version of that.
Yeah, a mature, realistic version of the, Harley 2.0 origin would be fantastic.
Yeah,
but I think that messes too much with what people would consider continuity. People at DC would consider continuity.
Yeah, you're probably
once you go past the point we're at now, you're messing with stuff.
Well, I don't know, man. They did have her go on a road trip with Poison Ivy and Catwoman and her pet beaver.
Well, if you ask somebody at DC, like Jim Lee or anybody, you ask them, like, is this canon? Like, if you're reading Harley Quinn now, like, is this canon for her origin? I don't think the answer is yes, right? Because, like, isn't DC Black Label supposed to be supposed to be its own thing?
Yeah, but I mean,
things become canon that aren't.
Yeah,
that's
right.
They did that. I mean, the Killing Joke was not supposed to be canon when he wrote it, and they made it canon because they liked it. And
and this should be her new canon origin to me.
To me, it should be.
I would agree. All right, so that's the conclusion, everybody. We're done.
We're done.
We ended it the same way we started it. So you guys have anything you want to plug before we wrap up here? We got about 4 or 5 minutes.
I'll just say I got on Wednesday a grading video that's going to drop. And at some point, I'll be doing a preview video for my next auction that I'm going to do. I got some cool stuff in.
Nice.
Adam?
Wednesday night at 10 on the Comic Art channel. Myself, Sean's Comics with Kids, White Whale Comics, and Comics Missing Explained. We have a little show called The Greatest Comic Book Show Ever. It's tongue-in-cheek. We have a really, really funny list that we're working on for this week. So
Sweet.
I think it might be our best one.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
tune in 10 o'clock Wednesday.
So in like 15 minutes, I'm going to do
Oh,
night
yeah.
2 of my 1 year anniversary. So hopefully some people will join me for that. This weekend will be the 1 year anniversary of the top 10 list. I'm going to do something for that. I haven't quite decided exactly what I'm going to do there, but I got some stuff going there. And that's really all I got on the radar at the moment. So
What's up, Arsenio? Our chemist is in the house. Yeah, we're wrapping up here, brother, but you're always welcome to catch the replay, but thank you for catching the end. I will probably be on JP's 1 year thing, at least for a little while tonight.
yeah, I'm going to send you all the links if you guys
And
want.
then I don't know if let's see. Yeah, a week from today, I'm supposed to have Spidey Fan on for the second episode of the original art hour. So he's going to come on. So we're probably going to focus on like sketch covers in our collection, or whatever art he has in his collection that he wants to show. So that'll be fun. That's a week from today, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then I'm not sure exactly what time it is, but I'm supposed to go live with DS Comics sometime this week. We're going to be co-promoting an auction that he and I are doing.
Oh, that won't be any fire.
Yeah, exactly. So DS Comics and I are teaming up for an auction. It's going to be on the auction itself is going to be on Wednesday, January 22nd, I think 8 o'clock Eastern, which also happens to be my birthday. So look out for that. And if you want to buy one of my books, I would appreciate the birthday sale on that one. So that's all I got. So thanks, guys, for joining us. And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you on the next Gotham City Chronicles, episode 12, where we're reading, who knows? We don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
We haven't locked in yet. So
yes. So thanks, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one, and we'll see you on JP's channel in a little bit. Later.
Bye.